Hello students, welcome to the online class. Today we will see the second unit in economics, that is globalization and the trade. Introduction. So nowadays the politicians, the economists and the businessmen, so these are all the peoples who are talking about a thing that is LPG. So LPG means liberalization, privatization and the globalization. So liberalization means the loosening of the government control. So that is liberalization. And you know what is privatization, right? And then globalization means it makes the people and the goods of a country to move easily out of border of a country. So that is called as globalization. The exact definition of globalization is it is the integration of a country with the world economy. Basically, globalization signifies a process of internationalization plus liberalization. See the picture. So these dots, so this indicates separate country. Okay, these dots indicate separate country, and globalization means we are integrating, we are joining these countries to the world economy. This is called globalization. For example, see here, India, Japan, Brazil, Australia, France and US. So these countries are here. So these countries are integrated with one another. So this is called globalization. So India is integrated with Australia and US is integrated with France and France is integrated with India. So this is called globalization. So these countries, they can change their technology, they can change the labor, their culture and their language. So these countries, they can adapt or they can accept the other countries' labor, culture, language, technology, etc. So this is called globalization, which makes the people to move easily out of border of a country. So this is called globalization. The word globalization, so this is introduced by Professor Theodore Levitt. Okay, and the history of globalization, it has three stages. The first one is archaic globalization, second is proto and third one is modern. So it has three stages. They are archaic, proto and modern. Globalization in India. So in India, after the time period of 1980 to 81, so this time period was marked by a severe balance of payment difficulties. So 1980 to 1981, so this time period, and it is marked as a severe balance of payment difficulties. So why there are payment difficulties? Because the reason behind this thing is there is a hike in oil price and Gulf War in 1990 to 91. So hike in oil price means the price of the oil is increased, and the Gulf War, which is in 1990 to 91. And then the hostilities in West Asia. Hostilities means they are in a mindset of fighting. They are ready to fight like a war. Okay, so when the new government, it took over in June 1991. So after this, after the Gulf War in 1990 to 91, the new government, it takes charge in June 1991. So India has unprecedented balance of payment crisis. Unprecedented means unexpected. So it has never happened before. India has to face an unexpected balance payment crisis. Okay, with the downgrading of India's credit rating by some international agencies, there was heavy flight of capital out of India. So India has lost its credit worthiness. So the capital of India is left out. So the Indian government, so it mortgaged 40 tons of gold to the Bank of England. So mortgaged means in Tamil we'll call it as Adamanam. Okay, so our government, it mortgaged 40 tons of gold to the Bank of England. So in this situation, so the government in 1991 to 92, it presented a budget in July 1991. So with some policy changes, because we are in a severe payment crisis situation, so the government has presented its budget with a policy changes. So the policy changes is based on the globalization, liberalization and the privatization. So this policy is called as India's new economic policy. These policies were strengthened when India signed the Dangle Draft in 1994. So this policy, it came to be implemented when India it signed the Dangle Draft, means it is just an written agreement in 1994. So after the confirmation of a written agreement in 1994, India's new economic policy has strengthened. Reforms made to adopt globalization, new economic policy in India. So some changes are there to adapt the globalization, that is the new economic policy in India. So the changes are, the first point is abolition of industrial licensing except for few industries. So only for few industries they should give the industrial license, so they can start their industries, but we have to stop giving the industrial license for all countries. So we have to give only for the selected few countries. So this is the first point. And second one is reduction in the number of industries reserved for public sector. So they should reduce the number of industries which is reserved for the public sector. So the number of industries for the public sector is reduced. And third point is fixation of a realistic exchange rate of rupee to exchange exports of Indian goods. So they should fix an amount in the exports of Indian goods. Fourth point is in the foreign trade, they'll change the rupee and they'll reduce the import duties. The fifth point is the rules and regulations in the foreign exchange are changed. The sixth point is the statutory liquidity ratio, that is SLR, was reduced to increase lending by RBI. The statutory liquidity ratio means the central bank, so it forces the commercial bank to invest in the government security. So this is called SLR. So this SLR, it is reduced to increase the lending by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. So to increase the lending by RBI, this SLR is reduced. Impact and challenges of globalization. So we'll see the positive impact of globalization. So India has adapted the globalization. No, we'll see the positive impact of it. The first point is a better economy introduces rapid development of the capital market. So by accepting this globalization, the economy is improved. So the better economy, it introduces the fast development of a country. And second thing is the standard of living has increased. So how the standard of living is increased? Because we can get many things from other country. We can exchange our goods from other country. So the standard of living has increased. Globalization rapidly increased better trade so that more people are employed. So how more people are employed? Because the people in one country, they will get the permit to work in other countries. So more people are employed. They'll get the employment opportunities. And then introduce new technologies and new scientific research patterns. So new technologies and the scientific research patterns are introduced in a country. And then globalization increasing the GDP of a country, that is it increases the gross domestic product of a country. The last point is it helps to increase in free flow of goods and also to increase foreign direct investment. Because through globalization, so one country it can import and export goods from other country, so it helps to increase in the free flow of goods, and also we can invest directly in the foreign countries. So these are all the positive impacts when we adapt the globalization. We'll see about the negative impact now. Negative impact. Too much flow of capital amongst countries introduces unfair and immoral distributors of income. So now there is no restriction for any country, so they can exchange their imports and exports, they are exchange their goods, etc. So this too much flow of capital among the countries, it introduces the indisciplined distributors of income. Second point is, another fear is losing national integrity. Because of too much exchange of trade, independent domestic policies are lost. So due to the too much of exchange of trade between other countries, the inner policies of our countries are lost. Rapid growth of the economy has required a major infrastructure and resource extraction. This increases negative ecological and social cost. To increase the growth of the economy, the infrastructure of a country is needed to be changed. So this has increased the social cost of a country. To get the foreign exchange, the natural resources of a country is exploited. The environmental standards and the regulations of a country is liberalized. Now we'll see the challenges of globalization. The benefits of globalization extend to all countries. That will not happen automatically, because connecting one country with the other country, that is integrating one country to the other country, is not an easy thing. So this globalization, it didn't happen automatically. Second point is the fear that globalization leads to instability in the developing world. So why globalization leads to instability? Because the developed countries, they will sell their products in the developing countries like India. Okay, so this creates a fear. Because of this, if they sell their product in our country, because of this thing, the people who are doing their business in a small manner, so they'll get affected. So that creates instability. The industrial world, that increased global competition will lead in race to the bottom in wages, labor right, and the employment practice. And then globalization has led to an increase in activities such as child labor and slavery. So this point 3 and 5 are interrelated. For example, if there is a 5 startup companies, there is a competition between these 5 companies. If a particular company, so it want to become the number 1 position means, so what they'll do, they'll sell their products for low price. So then only they can increase the customers. So for that, they will reduce the labor wages, because they are selling their products for low price, right? So to tally that, they'll reduce the wages of the labor and they'll increase the working time. So this globalization, it will lead to the bottom in wages and the labor right and the employment practice. So if they reduce the salary of a employee, so what they'll do, they will not accept to work with the low wages. They will not ready to work with the less salary. So definitely the company, they'll prefer for the child labor. So the child labor activities must be increased due to this globalization. People started consuming more junk food. This caused the degradation of health and spread of disease. So due to this globalization, we can get the fast food of other countries like China, etc. So fast food of other countries very easily. So it is not good for our health and it causes to spread of diseases. final thing is globalization has led to environmental degradation. So by adopting this globalization, that is the new economic policy, so lot of industries will develop here. So then they'll create the noise pollution, water pollution, etc. So the environment must be degraded. So this causes the environmental degradation. So that's all. This lesson is over. Thank you, students.